Have you ever looked at your life and felt a quiet whisper inside? A feeling that there is something more waiting for you? It's not a loud demand, but a gentle pull. A sense that your potential is like a sleeping giant. So many of us feel this. Soft pause. We see others achieving their dreams, building incredible lives, and we wonder, could that be me? We scroll through stories of success, feeling a mix of inspiration and, honestly, a little bit of sadness, questioning if we have what it takes. I want you to know that this feeling, this quiet longing, is not a sign of weakness. It is the first spark of your true purpose, trying to find the light. It is your future self, calling out to you, inviting you on the most important journey you will ever take. Before we build a house, we must first have a blueprint. Before a sculptor creates a masterpiece, they must first have a vision. In the same way, before we can build a life of purpose and success, we must first work on the architect of that life, our mind. Your mind is the control center for everything you do, feel, and believe. It is the silent force that shapes your reality. If your mind is cluttered with doubt, fear, and negativity, it will build a life that reflects that chaos. But if you can learn to cultivate a mind that is calm, focused, and positive, you will naturally start to build a life of clarity, strength, and joy. Think of your mind like a garden. For years, you may have let weeds grow without even realizing it. Self-criticism, comparison, limiting beliefs. Disciplining your mind is simply the act of mindfully tending to this garden. It's about consciously choosing where you place your attention. Where attention goes, energy flows. True mental discipline is an act of self-love. It's about becoming your own best friend, your own greatest cheerleader. Imagine you are the captain of a ship sailing across a vast open ocean. If you have no destination, you will simply drift. Now, imagine there is a lighthouse on a distant shore, its bright light cutting through the thickest fog. Suddenly, everything changes. You have a direction, you have a purpose. Every adjustment you make to the sails, every turn of the rudder is now done with intention. This lighthouse is your one clear goal. A clear goal is the ultimate tool for disciplining your mind. Without a clear goal, our minds tend to wander. We get distracted by shiny objects, by the opinions of others, by our own fleeting moods. Having a single, specific goal acts as an anchor. It simplifies your decisions. When you are faced with a choice, you can ask yourself a simple question: does this bring me closer to my lighthouse, or does it take me further away? A powerful goal is specific and measurable. For example, I will walk for 30 minutes every morning. So, what is your lighthouse? What is that one thing that, if you achieved it, would make a significant positive change in your life? Now that you understand the importance of a disciplined mind and a clear goal, let's talk about how to actually do it. The first step is to create a simple morning routine. How you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. Instead of immediately reaching for your phone and letting the world's chaos rush in, give the first few minutes of the day to yourself. This could be as simple as taking 5 deep breaths before you get out of bed. It could be 5 minutes of quiet meditation. The second practice is to become a conscious observer of your thoughts. Imagine you are sitting on the bank of a river, and your thoughts are like leaves floating by. When a negative thought appears, just notice it. You can even label it. By creating this space between you and your thoughts, you take away their power. A third powerful tool is single tasking. When you are eating, just eat. When you are talking to someone, just listen. Finally, end your day with intention. Before you go to sleep, take a few moments to reflect. Morning routine, observing thoughts, single tasking, evening reflection. They are small hinges that swing big doors. We often look at successful people and see only the final result, the towering oak tree. We don't see the tiny acorn from which it grew, or the years of slow, patient growth that happened beneath the soil, hidden from view. Think about J.K. Rowling. Before she became one of the most successful authors in the world, she was a single mother struggling to get by. Her discipline was writing in cafes whenever she could find a spare moment. Consider the man who wanted to get in shape but felt overwhelmed. So he set a very small goal, one push-up every day. It seemed almost ridiculous, but it was a goal he knew he could not fail. A year later, he had a consistent workout routine and was in the best shape of his life. His transformation didn't happen because of one heroic effort, but because of the cumulative power of a tiny, disciplined habit. Think of a student overwhelmed by a huge exam. The goal of ace the exam feels impossible. But review my notes for 20 minutes every evening is achievable. Each session is like laying a single brick. It is this process of breaking down a large, intimidating goal into small, manageable daily actions that makes the impossible possible. It's about celebrating the small wins along the way, the one page you wrote, the one push-up you did. So, do not despise the day of small beginnings. The mightiest oak tree was once just an acorn that held its ground. When you throw a small pebble into a still pond, it creates ripples that spread across the surface of the water. In the same way, cultivate discipline in one small area and watch positive effects ripple out. Think of the person who decided to walk 30 minutes each morning. At first, the goal was just physical health, but then things change. Waking up earlier to walk leads to a more consistent sleep schedule. The morning walk gives time to think clearly away from distractions, so they arrive at work more focused and less stressed. They feel better physically and have more energy in the evenings to connect with family. A daily walk improves fitness, sleep, focus, stress levels, and relationships. Small goals rewire your self-perception. Keeping promises to yourself builds self-trust. You see yourself as disciplined, someone who follows through. When the next challenge comes, you won't think, I always quit. You'll think, I can do hard things. That confidence spills into your career, finances, creativity, and every other corner of life. Success in one area becomes a blueprint for all areas. Choose one small habit and commit fully. See it as the first pebble you toss into your life. Watch with gratitude as those ripples spread, creating waves of positive change you couldn't have anticipated. We have journeyed together through these ideas, but all of this knowledge, all of this inspiration remains just potential until you take action. The gap between the life you have and the life you want is bridged by one thing and one thing only, your next step. The journey of 1,000 miles truly does begin with a single step. I want you to close your eyes for a moment. Picture the person you want to become. See them clearly. How do they carry themselves? What does their daily life look like? Now, understand this. That person is not a fantasy. They are a possibility. They are you waiting to be expressed. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready. The perfect moment will never arrive. The perfect moment is now, because now is all you ever truly have. So, I invite you to make a simple promise to yourself right now. Choose one clear, specific goal, just one. Make it small enough that it feels achievable, but meaningful enough that it excites you. Write it down on a piece of paper and put it somewhere you will see it every day. Then, decide on the very first tiny action you can take to move toward it. Is it putting on your running shoes? Is it opening a new document? Whatever it is, do it today. Remember, you are not alone on this path. Every person you admire started exactly where you are now. Your journey begins now. Take the step.